What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? This is your boy Chef Don Don here with another video. Y'all, let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 14 Reunion Part 1. Listen, but before we do that, let's go ahead and get some housekeeping things out of the way, child. Y'all, please make sure if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please make sure that you hit this like button on this video. Make sure that you are also joining my Patreon so that you don't miss any exclusive content. And follow me on all social media platforms. And remember, y'all, because of the demonetization of the channel, all gifts are welcome over to the Cash App, which is Chef Don Don 2, and via Venmo at Chef Don Don 2 as well. Listen, I really appreciate the Don Dons for riding and supporting with me. But y'all, listen, we got to get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta tea. This was Season 14 Reunion Part 1, child. I have a lot to say about it, but we're going to get into it, okay? But before we do so, I'm going to play my intro, give you a little bit of time to get on in the room, and then we're going to get started, all right? All right. Hey, all right, y'all. So please make sure that you like this video. And again, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, child. Well, let's get on into this review because I don't want to hold y'all too long. Okay, y'all already know. I already told y'all how churchy I tend to be. All right, but anyway, let's get on into this thing. All right, so again, this is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14 Reunion. All right, let's get into the seating chart first, child. Did y'all see the seating chart? It's just a little weird. It's a little weird. Listen, to the right of Andy, we have Marlo, Drew, and Sanya. And we know Drew and Sanya had some problems during this season, so why would they do that? So then on the other side, we have Miss Sheree, Kenya, and Kandi. Listen, the seating chart was just all the way weird. But anyway, let's get on into this review. So it opens up with Sanya kind of having her first package where, of course, you know, Andy has to speak to all the ladies, throw a little shade, you know how that goes. But Sanya, you know, they talk about Sanya being the bone collector. You know, in the first episode where Marlo had her like alcohol event, you know, Sanya was the bone collector, baby. She had went back and gave some information. Child, she had relayed a bone. Well, anyway, production is real messy because they said that all of them, you know, kind of gave the same amount of bones throughout the whole entire season, you know, while they were trying to say there was a new bone collector. You know, Miss Sheree is the bone collector. So they get into Drew and Sheree, child. Okay, and so Drew and Sheree go back and forth, and y'all know I've been telling y'all Drew and Sheree's beef is real light because really the beef is with Fatum. However, I understand why Drew would have any type of beef with Sheree because, you know, she kind of feels like Fatum was just that chihuahua that Sheree decided to bring around, child. You know, so I found that to be completely interesting. You know, and then Sheree says is that Drew just couldn't handle Fatum. But girl, bye, Sheree. Fatum was weird, and we're gonna call a spade a spade. Fatum was weird. Her whole interaction with Drew was completely weird. Who runs a background check on a friend of a friend? Girl, you are not even full time or a friend of the show. I mean, you was a friend of the show. Why would you do something like that? It's weird, child. And then to be taking somebody's purse, girl, where I'm from, you don't do that. Anyway, Andy asked Sheree if she knew about Fatum doing, you know, the stuff that she said about Drew, Ralph being gay and all of that kind of stuff. And so Sheree says that she didn't know. Child, she tried to blame it on Anthony again. Y'all, Anthony has been known to be very messy, child, in the past. And so, she wants to call Anthony. Andy is like, nah, we're going to get into that a little bit later, but we ain't fit to rush into it right now. Okay? That's not what we're going to get into. Okay? Right now. Okay? But anyway, Drew doesn't believe Sheree at all. She believes that she knew about the whole situation. If I can be completely honest with you, I believe Sheree knew too. I believe Sheree is definitely not telling the truth. Okay. Period. Point blank. All right. So let's see here. All right. So next, Drew says Sanya doesn't have a mind of her own, child. So Drew and Sanya are going back and forth, all of that stuff. Dog, you know how they go. Child, you know how they go. Y'all, please make sure you are liking the video. And if not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Liking the video is a free way of putting me up in the algorithm. Again, y'all know my channel has been demonetized. So this is a free way of helping the channel. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Sanya says that Drew has only accomplished mediocrity at best, child. And Andy is like, can we move on? Because, their whole beef, like I said, Sanya is just making up some stuff, but we're going to get into their beef in just a little bit. So we get Sheree's package, right? And so she discussed Tyrone and how Tyrone left her in Philly and all of that kind of stuff. And we've heard Tyrone's interviews and we've heard what Sheree had to say about Tyrone, the child. Just for me, it seems weird. She said that Tyrone was doing a lot for the cameras and stuff like that, which I found to be completely strange. You know what I'm saying? Because, I believe you were doing a lot as well. Like, let's not even play these games. So, Andy finally asked Sheree about She by Sheree. Now, child, we already know about She by Sheree. We know what's going on with She by Sheree, right? So the whole thing when he asked her about She by Sheree, I was like, oh, okay, child, She by Sheree. She by Sheree. What is She by Sheree giving? What is She by Sheree giving, child? Anyway, so he says that he goes to the website She by Sheree and there's no fashions on the fashion show. No fashions. A fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful, how dreadful. So she clears up the air and says that once the finale airs, she will have the website up. Well, we already know that the finale aired, and we already know what's tea about the website, right? The website was down for about a week, and so yesterday I think she tried to play it smart by having the website available right after the reunion aired, or while the reunion was airing, so that she could get out of it, in my opinion. That's why that was done. And again, it's just, just my opinion when it comes to that. Again, we already know what's up. Andy mentions about her not being focused on She by Sheree, and the whole spring, September, summer thing. He asked her about the embarrassment about that. She states that she don't know why she said it, but she said that she wasn't focused on She by Sheree. She was focused on her family, which we'll get into a little bit more of that here in just a minute. They talk about Kandi actually shading Sheree, right? And how Sheree feels that Kandi uses her for clickbait on her show Speak On It. Now, I've been saying this, Sheree, I'm going to need you to let that go because Kandi hasn't even been on her Speak On It a lot this season, considering she's been having A1 and Don Juan on. And the times that she's been on, she's talked about a lot of stuff. And girl, do you know what clickbait is? Because she ain't talking about you to get clickbait. Now, I appreciate Bravo for plugging Kandi's show in her Speak On It. You know what I'm saying? All them flashbacks from production. Wasn't doing nothing but plugging Candy's bag. So I was here for it, right? Sheree then had catches amnesia. She don't remember talking about Candy and all that kind of stuff, y'all. Sheree, she do it all the time. She do it all the time, child. Catch amnesia, don't remember nothing, done forgot everything, child. She just doing the most, child. Just doing the most. All right, so um, okay. Drew and Sheree go back and forth about their brands, and Drew talks about having a mommy makeover and how she's been open about it, and she says that they've all had work, so she talks about Sheree's butt and her boobs, and so Sheree doesn't deny the boobs or anything of that sort, but she definitely denies the butt part. Giving Phaedra her parks time by squats, not shots, baby. So that's quite interesting here. You used a good line there, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But anyway, that was um Miss Sheree there for you. All right. So they asked Candy why Candy brings a lot of off drama to the show. Candy denies it and says that um Candy pretty much denies it, right? So then we get into Candy and Marlo, child. And when it comes to Candy and Marlo's little squabble here, they get into it a little bit early where Marlo asks and says that she wants the truth in this particular situation. She talks about Todd supposedly calling her first about a deal that Candy had gotten her on WeTV. Shout out to the bloggers who were able to get the interviews with Candy, Scotty by Nature, um, Misha, in my opinion, Tisa Tells, DJ Richie Sky. Yeah, I know I'm forgetting some people. I know I'm forgetting some people, but congratulations to you all on getting that. And so Candy kind of goes into a little bit more detail about this particular situation when it comes to Marlo Child. Just over Marlo and her antics, as well as Sanya and her antics as well, child. But anyway, Marlo gets to talking about the contract and how the contract was bogus and bullcrap and why she didn't do the project, child. Um, so Andy begins to ask what Candy's situation was. She just doesn't like Marlo discrediting her and what she has done to try to help Marlo, right? So um Sheree talks about her sex life with Tyrone Child. And she talks about how when Tyrone first got out, how whack it was, child. She talked about it on Watch What Happens Live. So Andy begins to ask her about her new boo. Child, she gets to talking about Martell. And in this particular situation, y'all, what I found strange is the fact that Sheree didn't even know what Martell did. Um, she gets to describing Martell in a way is just really crazy, right? So Andy asked her because one of the fans had sent in a question asking Sheree has she paid attention to the red flags considering what Martell did to his ex-wife. So Andy asked Sheree, well, what did he do to his ex-wife? Well, Kenya saves the day by responding, and Kenya says, child, he cheated on his ex-wife and had a baby, right? Well, again, so Sheree says that after meeting him and getting to know him, he's a little bit different and all of that good stuff. And she says that she wasn't really into looks, although he is a handsome guy. Um, and so Kenya throws shade, and so she's like, yeah, child, we all done met Bob, right? Basically, shading Bob and calling Bob, a little on the less attractive side. um, so child, that was that. So then we get into Sanya and Drew again, y'all. And here's the thing when it comes to Sanya and Drew. What I want Sanya to stop doing is trying to manipulate the situation and trying to play victim. In this particular case, it's really annoying to me, right? And when you do this, you make people like Drew and stuff like that. You really make people like Drew. And Drew had some antics last season that a lot of people didn't agree with. Listen, I can't talk about him because I didn't really watch it. But here's my thing. Sanya gave me a little bit on the aggression side when it came to this. Sanya said a lot of stuff that she done with no cams available, but prior to the season, when the season was airing, that wasn't the same tune that she had been singing, which I found to be really, really strange. And this is why I say Sanya doesn't give me real authenticity. She gives me real fake. And I don't know that I can deal with the fakeness. Like, girl, give us something else to work with. Like, you really was caught in one of your binds, one of your lies, honey. You were caught in a lie. And just what you was trying to get at just wasn't hitting, ma'am. Just wasn't hitting. Okay? All right. So that's that. So let's get into the next part. So Sanya, and listen, this is what I wanted to say. Sanya has all the smoke when it comes to Drew, but she didn't have no smoke when it came to Kenya, huh? She didn't have no smoke when it came to Kenya. Okay. So here's my thing also when it comes to the whole Clout situation. Drew wasn't saying that you was getting Clout off of her. And you keep saying that you didn't ask Kandi and Kenya to post what you had gotten, right? But what I found strange is the fact that you don't have to ask them to post for you. All you have to do is tag them in it, and you're going to gain the clout from the tag. So I'm not really understanding what you thought you was meaning by that. But girl, your reason was invalid. Your reasoning behind this was invalid because, like I said, I feel like the clout part came from the fact that you could have tagged them. They didn't have to post. They didn't have to post for you to gain clout. So I'm gonna need you to cut it out. Cut it out, sis. Just please cut it out. Listen, y'all. If you would like to bless the channel, you can via Cash App and Chef Down too. All blessings are greatly appreciated. Or via Venmo and Chef Down too as well. Please make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get on back into this episode, child. All right. So we get into Marlo's package, child. And we get into a lot of things when it comes to Marlo. Marlo gives us a lot about her childhood. And so here's what I want to say when it comes to Marlo. Marlo makes it very hard for us to be very empathetic and sympathetic in the situations that she's dealing with because of how she's done people. Marlo seems to not have respect for a lot of people, and it seems to come off in a nice, not a nice way. It seems to come off in a very nasty way. So you really want people to support you, but you're making it super, super hard. So there's a couple things that I put down when it comes to Marlo and why it's so hard to be sympathetic and empathetic when it comes to Marlo. The first thing I wanted to talk about was, remember when she said that Kenya's mother doesn't even want her. So the thing that I have to say about that is what I found super strange is the situation that you're dealing with your mother. You can't say stuff like that and expect for people to be sympathetic and empathetic with you, love. It just doesn't. Life doesn't work that way, right? Also, you putting your nephews out doesn't prove to us that you learned your lesson as a child being bounced around from foster home to foster home. And what I mean by that is the pure and mere fact that, again, the way you're handling things, you don't give people a reason or a way to be sympathetic or empathetic for you. You put your nephews out. Your nephew's trauma, you're building on top of their trauma. And I'm not even going to go too much into that because y'all already know how I feel about Marlo when it comes to her nephews and her kicking her nephews out. But this is the one thing that I also want to get into when it comes to Marlo. Y'all, I've been in foster care before. And this is me speaking. I've been in foster care before. And I've been bounced around from foster home to foster home, right? And although I didn't age out of foster care, I know what it's like to be bounced around, right? And you getting used to one family and then that one family telling you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So it is very, very difficult. So in this, I can feel for Marlo. But here's the thing, Marlo. You gotta humble yourself when you deal with situations like this, and don't take your nephews through what you went through because you feel like you're trying to teach them something. Like, we gotta cut that out and we gotta hold you responsible. One thing that I found to be really wrong, and I hope that in the next two parts they talk about this, but none of the friends except for Kandi and Kenya, and I mean, Kenya is not Marlo's friend, and neither is Kandi, but they were the only ones to really hold Marlo accountable for kicking her nephews out of the home. Sheree didn't do it. Sanya didn't do it, but Sanya's supposed to be your good Judy. Sanya's supposed to be your good Judy, but Sanya couldn't tell you where you were wrong. So I have a major problem with that, and I'm not sure I understand why none of your friends, and if they are your friends, why they haven't checked you where you're wrong. Like, for me, I want my friends to check me when or let me know when I'm wrong, right? And in this particular situation, like I said, her doing what she did to her nephews didn't do anything but add more trauma onto their lives, right? So, again, Marlo makes it very tough for you to be able to feel sorry for her in this particular situation or in any situation that she's dealing with, just by the way that she tends to treat people. It's just not cool or right. All right, so Andy asked Kenya about her opinion on Marlo being a housewife. And I think when Marlo first started off, things were good with Marlo. And then I think when Marlo took a turn to try to do things for TV and to try to, secure her spot and what she was actually dealing with, it just came off as very unauthentic and very pressuring to the audience. It's kind of like you take what you get, and here it is, like, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I just found everything that Marlo did this season to be very weird and very contradicting, and the fact that she wants us to feel sorry for her, it makes it hard yet again because the way you treated people, in this process. So, for me, I just think that that's just not cool. Okay. Um, so also, one thing I also wanted to say was when Marlo told Kenya that she didn't say anything about Mark this season. Now, Marlo, we are not crazy. You did say stuff about Mark this season. You also said, remember when the scene of, you actually brought up Mark twice because you brought him up when y'all was at the Drop It with Drew event. Remember? And remember, we saw that in the trailer where Kenya was telling Marlo to get out of her face. She brought up Mark then. So you always use Mark to weaponize Kenya. And this is why I feel like Kenya has a hard time with it. And a lot of people, don't want to fault Kenya. But when you're going through a divorce and stuff like that, it's hard. It's hard. And for her to constantly bring up what Mark has done or what Mark is doing, I find it to be very rude and disrespectful. Like, you keep doing that, but then you have a problem with people calling you what we've known you to be like, or whatever the case may be, right? So, y'all, I mean, this was part one of the reunion. I really want to know what y'all are going to rate this reunion. If I had to give it a rating, I am definitely going to give the rating an 8.5. I think it was a good reunion. I don't think that it wasn't no heavy tea spill, but I think overall it was a good reunion for part one. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all let me know what you're going to rate this reunion. What was something that stood out to you in this reunion? Again, we're going to see more. Also, something else I wanted y'all to notice, like, they're going to be calling Anthony in the next episode. So, that's going to start some mess, of course, child. And, again, we got two more parts, right? After this, I believe they'll do like the never before seen episode that they'll play after the third part of the reunion, and then I believe we get Potomac right after that. So October 9th is Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac's actual premiere date. Okay, so I'm super excited about that, guys. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this episode. I think because here's the thing. I know a lot of people feel like the Real Housewives of Atlanta this season was a little lackluster. I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way. I actually did like this season. Um, do I want all of the ladies to come back in a full-time capacity? No. I would prefer to have Marlo as a friend. I would also prefer to have, you know what? Here's the thing when it comes to Sanya. I kind of think Sanya can have a second chance, but when it comes to Drew, like if Drew, from what I hear, all the ladies have been offered a contract to come back, right? But if you're going to have issues with Drew, like I'm not here for that next season, so I'm gonna need you to switch it up. I'm gonna need you to have some issues with somebody like Kenya. I mean, we know you can't read Kenya or nothing like that because Kenya can read you down, honey. But I don't know, just have an issue with somebody else. Just do not let it be Sheree. But just don't let it be Drew. Because I feel like Sanya again is nitpicking. And when she was doing all that crying and going on, I was thinking to myself, I was like Drew, like, girl, she has tears. And they was like, Drew, that's crying. But I'm with Drew, like, girl, you really not fooling nobody. If Drew wasn't your friend like that, why was you so emotional? Why was you so emotional? Like I totally didn't understand that. That was just weird to me. Um but yeah, y'all, so that was pretty much the episode. Like I said, we have episode next Sunday, which is part 2, and then the Sunday after that, which is part 3 of the reunion. Okay, but again, y'all, let me know what you're going to be rating this episode. If you didn't catch the live this morning, we did deep dive into She by Sheree, because that was, as you know, she told Andy that the website was going to be up immediately after the season finale, child. And we all know how that went, right? We know that the website wasn't exactly up. However, we did discuss that this morning over on the channel. So make sure that you guys check that video out as well. And then also check out the video that I just done on Sheree Shepherd and Jennifer Hudson's new talk show. Will you be supporting that talk show? Will you be watching? Will you be entertained? Let me know how you feel about that down in the comment section. Again, let me know how you feel about this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And again, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much for riding for me again on the channel. If you would like to donate and send love to the channel, you can via Cash App at Chef Don Don 2 or via Venmo at Chef Don Don 2 as well. I do need you all support and love. A free way of doing that is by liking this video and making sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Join Patreon. Patreon is $3 to join, y'all. $3 to join. Content will be available on Patreon, so please, please, please make sure that you get into it. Y'all, I appreciate you all so much. Again, this was the part 1 of the season 14 Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Again, let me know what you rate this episode. Thank you all so much. The Don Dons, I have so much love for you. Thank you for riding for your boy. And with that being said, I'm about to tap out of this thing, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14 reunion part 2. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.